was living in Park Slope in Brooklyn, and fucking 9/11, my boy called me up, and he was like, "Yo, fucking plane just went into the towers." So I dressed real quick, put the camera in my messenger bag, rode down Flatbush. I got on the Brooklyn Bridge, and just as I'm coming up the Brooklyn Bridge, crescent into Manhattan, I was when the second plane came in and hit that shit.
You were going across the Brooklyn Bridge and stuff?
I was in the middle of the Brooklyn Bridge when the second plane came in. And I was like, what is that fucking plane doing over here? Because that's a no-fly zone. And what is that second plane doing here? And that second plane came in, bow, and hit it. And pulled out my idiot box 16 megapixel camera, and I just started snapping. Pop, 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 pop. I'm snapping everything. And so I go into the city. I'm like, I'm gonna get some good shots. I'm gonna go to the towers. You know, this shit is burning, fresh, burning. And I'm gonna go to the towers. And I get to the Manhattan side of the Brooklyn Bridge, and the cop was like, "Yo, the city is closed." Man, fuck you. What the fuck you mean the city is closed? And he unsnapped his gun and was like, "Yo, my man, black dude, black cop, uniform, like, yo, the city is closed." I was like, all right. And then two things ran through my mind. My wife was on her way to work in Manhattan, so I was like, yo, where's my wife? My ex. And the other thing was, I can't get into the city. What the fuck am I gonna do? At the time, I was working in Times Square doing something. So I rode back into Brooklyn. I go to my man Chris's house. And I remember Chris had this loft. Like, you can't afford that shit now, but Chris had a loft that was like 2,500 square feet, and he was paying like $1,000. But he bought it because it had a perfect view of the World Trade Center, you know, by the Navy Yard. So I go to his house, and he's already drinking. It's fucking 9 something in the morning. He's already drinking beers. Like, it's the end of the world as we know it. I fucking pop a beer open, and the towers are still burning, and at the Navy Yard, we didn't know that the FBI had a secret, not a secret, but they had a station there. Because when that shit happened, all of these dudes in FBI windbreakers just come pouring out of there. And we're all standing there, and we're watching the towers burn, and then the first tower came down, and you can hear it. You know, because the way sound travels, the tower came down, and then you heard the... And I remember everybody burst into tears, because you knew, like, 1,000 people just died right now. Right now, 1,000 people just died. So everybody burst into tears. We were like, oh, shit. So now it's one tower. You know, I'm a native New Yorker, and I'm looking at one tower standing up. I'm like, oh, shit. This is fucking crazy. And then the second tower came down, and that's when everyone fucking lost it. Like, everyone was like boo-hooing out loud. You know, fucking everyone lost it. And that was one of those times, it's like, I realized I would never leave the house without my fucking camera. At the time, the towers were the main cellular juncture. When the towers came down, no cell phones worked. No cell phones worked. The only thing that worked was landlines. So when I got to my man Chris's house, I got on his landline. I called my mother. Hey, Mom, I'm all right. Got on the phone, called my sister. Hey, I'm all right. You know, checked on all of the family. All the people that meant something to me, I called them, let them know I'm all right. But I couldn't get in touch with my wife. What I later found out was she made it up to 44th Street and 6th Avenue where she worked at. She made it there. Both towers came down. And her being the survivor that she is, she's like, we got to get the fuck up out of here. We got to get out of here. And people in her building like, no, we have to wait until the fire department comes. She's like, fuck that. We got to get out of here. And she walked from 42nd Street, 59th Street Bridge, which is now the, not Mary Cuomo, I don't know what they call that bridge now. But anyway, 59th Street Bridge to Greenpoint. When she got to Greenpoint, it was buses were free, people were picking up passengers. You know, just New York came together. Everybody was like taking care of everybody. and she went to she had on some fancy ass heels. So she went to some random sneaker shop in Greenpoint and was like, I need some sneakers. And they gave her a pair of Chuck Taylors. They gave her a pair of Chuck Taylors, like, just get home safe. So she walked from 42nd Street, she came around Greenpoint, Williamsburg, all of that shit, and walked back to Park Slope. And I'm sitting at my crib in Park Slope, and I'm thinking like, yo, I'm a fucking widower. I'm a widow. And she comes walking down the street at like 6:30, like exhausted with these fucking Chuck Taylors on. And I collapsed because I thought, my wife was dead. Yeah, she comes walking down the street with these Chuck Taylors on, just disheveled, and she had strangers with her. And we brought these strangers into our house. We made dinner. Excuse me, man.
Oh, good.
And yeah, it was fucking crazy. But she walked from Times Square to Park Slope and brought strangers into our home, and we made dinner. And yeah, it was some New York shit. After 9/11, everything was so pro America, but really pro New York.
I'm American. If one of us gives up, it'll have a domino effect. And we can't have a domino effect. It got to keep on going till we get our brothers and sisters out of there. Everybody's involved in this. Everybody's involved in this.
Like everything was pro New York. Like New York was like, New Yorkers, don't fuck with us. Don't fuck with it. And right after that happened, I was like, I need to get away from this shit. So me and my wife at the time, we went to the car and we went out to Hilton Head, North Carolina. Hilton Head. We went out to Hilton Head. And I don't think I spent any money because people saw New York plates on my car. They paid for my drinks. They wouldn't let me pay for my dinner. I got pulled over, and the cops saw New York plates, and the cops said to me, yo, I was fucking speeding. Cop pulled me over, checked my paperwork. He said, slow down. He said, build New York back up. Go home.